And since being elevated to Pope last week, people are investigating the family roots of the man once known as Father Bob Prevost.
We want to know everything about him,
Yeah.
right? Genealogists found that there's actually a lot more to learn from his French last name. NBC5's Christian Farr is here with a little more on the Pope's family tree. Christian.
Yeah, this is very interesting. We first learned that the Pope would become the first American pontiff, of course. Then we learned he was from Chicago. Now genealogists have dug into his New Orleans roots, and that helped uncover a racial background that seems to be very diverse.
The selection of Cardinal Prevost came as a surprise. The only thing I knew about him was that he was an American.
But when New Orleans-based genealogist Jari Honore dug deeper into Pope Leo XIV's family roots, he uncovered a history that has drawn a lot of attention, especially on social media.
Them and their ancestors were fairly consistently listed as colored or mulatto or black in census documents and in vital records and things like that.
Before coming to Chicago, the Pope's family on his mother's side lived in New Orleans, and before that, the country of Haiti.
Their story is like so many families where their particular branch left the South, left New Orleans somewhere between 1910 and 1911, and went to Chicago, and as we say, passed for white, or passa blanc, as we say it here in Louisiana.
I looked into some of the birth certificates, death certificates, census records, and sure enough, his ancestors were listed as black at some period.
Chicago-based genealogist Tony Burrows also looked into the Pope's family, and he also discovered that on his maternal side, that the family's racial identification varied depending on which census report was reviewed.
I was able to go back to the 1850s, and they were listed as mulattoes in 1850, 1860, 1870. Then when you get to 1880, they were listed as white. When you get to 1900, they were listed as black. And then after that, they were listed as white.
Burrows and Honore say maintaining the racial designation of white for the Pope's family was probably done for a very good reason, because in the early 20th century, blacks had a very low position on America's social structure.
They were able to move up on that economic ladder. So it's basically a defensive mechanism.
Now, I asked genealogist Jari Honore if he would like the Pope to speak publicly about this. Honore said no, because he believes the Pope has a profound understanding of our common kinship. Tony Burrows thinks at some point during his tenure, the Pope will be asked about those family roots. So very interesting. We'll have to see if he's ever going to bring it up.